Canadian Texan.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm sure there's a Canada in Texas. Yeah, 100%.
Honestly, there probably is.
Take it away, man. Take it away.
All right. Well, we have in the upper left-hand corner of Site Delta, none other than the foreigner, the non-Texan of this bracket. It is Dragon Kites's Dark.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player from the land of Texas, representing Storm Gaming, the Prince of Texas, I believe. It is MaxPax.
He is part of the royal family of Texas, which is why he's unable to go to any of the live events. And it's part of being the royal family of Texas.
Yeah, you know, I've been hearing, as we're going for a proxy hatch, by the way. So I really want to say, I have been hearing that some people actually, they misinterpret where MaxPax is from, and they've been saying that, like, they've been looking for him, actually. You know, they've been trying to find out what he looks like. And I think they've been, like, looking in a place called, like, Denmark, and that's why they can't find him. They're looking in the wrong place.
Oh yeah. No, they gotta check the real place, which is of course Texas. But you are correct, Dark. Gonna go for a cheeky little hatch block here on MaxPax. I love that Dark still does this. I feel like he's one of the few like, high-level players that still does these kinds of moves.
100%. Dark, I mentioned this in the previous series against Skilless in Game 1. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point this series Dark goes for a proxy hatch at some point, and he didn't against Skilless, but he was saving it here for MaxPax instead, and this isn't too committed. This is just designed to, you know, try to disrupt the economy here of MaxPax. He's expanding back at home. This isn't supposed to be an all-in.
Yeah, this is it's just a hatch block. Zergs got tired of us calling the pylon block a hatch block, so they started doing this to make sure we used our terms correctly. But you're right, he's just trying to delay this a little bit, forces the Zealot out. There's a lot of lost mining time with the probes. Is it worth it? Maybe, but for Dark it's worth it because he likes to just disrupt games. That's like Dark's big thing. He wants to make the game weird. Dark handles weird situations so well. But if he can force his opponent into the weird situation too, like he's just going to have an advantage by being good at that. And MaxPax, a lot of the way he plays is like really specific, right? He just gets out the units he needs exactly when he needs it. He doesn't want there's no fat on his build. It is exactly what he needs and nothing more. So if he's forced to get other units out, now he has to try to figure out a way to like make this Zealot work. And his Nexus is a little later. So things are a little off timing. And I feel like for MaxPax, that's a bigger deal than it is for Dark to, like, I don't know, have a weird situation because he built that hatch and then canceled it. Yeah,
definitely, right? As you're saying, like, MaxPax is a very lean player, you know, he's very in shape and very clean. And Dark, he's dirtying him up, you know, he's just dragging him into the mud with him. And Dark, he likes the mud. He likes being dirty. It's beautiful. He's in his element, if you will. As he definitely going to be shading into the main base, and yo, we can one-shot workers. A lot of drones are actually going down.
Ooh. Yeah, already 5 drones getting killed here. And I mean, this is what I was talking about a little bit in the last series, right? Like, MaxPax coming in with every unit he can possibly have and just getting drone kills, what seems like for free. He lost to the Zealot, but that is 5 kills for 1 Zealot. That is so worth it.
Yeah, it really is. And from here, MaxPax, he can back up. He may have taken a bit of an economic dip earlier because of the delayed expansion and also because of all the lost mining time as well. But it's well worth it. After killing all those workers, he's able to stabilize, able to keep up with Dark, and any kind of like disruption that Dark was trying to cause earlier is gone at this point.
Yeah, the game, like you said, it's stabilized quite a bit. Now, MaxPax doesn't have a third base on the way, which is something I expect to see him trying for soon. But we'll see if he can get some even more damage done with this Oracle that's coming in right now.
Yeah, we're going straight for Larva here at the third base. We got 1 Larva in the end, going straight for that natural, but we have 2 Queens in position. The Spore finishes up just in time. The Oracles won't get much done, but as you were saying, MaxPax should be expanding back at home. There we go. The Adepts are just going to be ferrying this probe over, and we're going to be taking that third base.
Yep, and now getting a Void Ray out too, which, I mean, I know this is to kill the Overlord, but I've noticed this more and more. I feel like for a while, the Protoss players like avoided going for the Void Ray, but they're back into it. They love that Void Ray.
Was that on purpose?
What?
They avoid the Void Ray?
That wasn't on purpose. It really, genuinely, I didn't even know
Okay.
what you were referring to. I was like, I missed the joke entirely.
Like, what did I say? What did I do? Did I insult someone? Oh god.
Right? I'm sure that did insult somebody, and if you're insulted by that joke, I apologize. You need to seek counseling for those kinds of puns. I understand.
If you happen to be a Void Ray in the chat and you feel that joke was insensitive, we do apologize.
Yeah.
But deal with it. So your depths are going to be moving out as well. Void Ray, as you were mentioning, shutting down the Overlord, we are going to be heading towards this third base. Doesn't look like a lot, but this is a worker killing force. We have so many adepts, the Oracles, the Void Ray as well. We're looking for some more economic damage even outside of just clearing up this creep.
Yeah, we'd love to see him shade some of these adepts into the bases, but it looks like right now he is just going to clear up that creep, and then the Lings are going to get right on top of this. Only one adept's going to be able to finish that shade into the natural, where it will still get a drone because this is a MaxPax adept, and that's just what they do.
Yeah,
but the Oracles, man. 15 drones have died this game.
Oh my god.
That's big damage. And I mean, Dark's down 10 workers after this. MaxPax's third base is fully up and running. This feels like a tough position for Dark.
It really is. Like, he's taken a massive blow to his economy. He's got a lot of recovering to do as well. I'm curious if Dark is going to double down on aggression or try to drone up as well, as at the moment he can't really do either. The Roach Warren is still on the way, plus on Melee still on the way as well, and yeah, Dark, he's just stuck at home trying to survive, trying to defend, and having a hard time doing so.
And this is really the power of the way MaxPax plays, is that later on in the game, it looks like he has this unstoppable force of Blink Stalkers or whatever it ends up being, in this case, charge lots. But it's because he sets the groundwork. He does all this damage early on, and the Zerg has such a tough time fighting back. That being said, Dark does have some tools at his disposal if he wants to go for things like Infestors or try to get into a quick Hive or something cheeky like Burrow Roach play. There's a lot of things Dark can do to try to come back, but he needs to get that economy rolling before he can really do too much of it.
He really does, and for now it is rolling. He's up to 3 base saturation, he's on 65 workers, and I believe Dark is going to be cutting workers here. He has a 4th, but oh, actually no, he is droning up even further. He's taking additional gases, and we see why. He's going for a Spire, a bit of a Hail Mary play. There's a lot of potential with the Spire, but it takes a while to really get going, and MaxPax, he's already in his face.
Yeah, MaxPax not giving him a moment to breathe. It's a massive warp in, and Dark just needs to build units now. Like you said, he had started droning a little bit more, but Roach speed isn't even done. These Roaches have no upgrades. This is going to be such a difficult fight for them to win against the Charge Lots and the Archons, and MaxPax just needs to take decent trades. They're on the same economy.
Yeah,
and he is just pushing through this.
Yeah, the Roaches are being melted here by the Archons, by the Void Ray as well. The Force Fields are good. The Queens are trapped, and the Zealots are just going ham. They're wreaking havoc here on this Zerg army.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to just be too much. The +1 on the Zealots and Archons. There's the WW out of Dark. MaxPax takes what seems like an easy game 1.
Yeah, exactly. Showing us that, hey, even if he gets down and dirty with Dark, he embraces that as well. He was able to just get so much counter damage done. As we pointed out at the very start of the game, the snowball started rolling in favor of MaxPax's favor with that first Zealot, and with 2 Adepts, he was able to achieve so much, and that was the beginning of just those 15 workers going down and just setting MaxPax up for success.
Yeah, it really is just all about that early game and the amount of damage he can get done with the first handful of units. We see it every single game, and it just feels like there's nothing to do about it. Nobody seems to be able to handle it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Dark, he has gone toe-to-toe with MaxPax in the past, but here he did struggle to do so. Here he was on the back foot, and we'll see if Dark can recover. Again, it's still best of 3. Still best of 3, so he can come back. I'm hoping for an ace match, but at the same time, it is ESL Open Cup Americas, and I feel like a lot of these Texan players, they get a buff because of that.
Yeah. Well, MaxPax has been up playing all day already, and I feel like this is probably, it's morning for Dark. Maybe he just woke up, a little bit rusty still. Hasn't played too many matches of StarCraft yet.
Yeah, exactly. I hope he hasn't stayed up all night. I was mentioning this before, but Dark, he did come off the back of an ESL Asia win. Last night he did win ESL Open Cup Asia. Yeah, hopefully he got plenty of rest here in between tournaments. Hopefully.
I think Dark probably slept. Beyond's kind of a degen. I think he probably stayed up all night.
No, yeah, he's a Terran player. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I don't know if you're one with the meme, but my narrative is, because I'm sure you're aware that in KSL we get very few Terran signups, and it's just too early in the day. Too early in the day for them. They have to sleep. They can't wake up until deep in the afternoon.
I mean, it's like you kind of joke, but that is genuinely what Beyond has told me why he doesn't sign up.
Yep.
So you're absolutely right. But fortunately, I think he did get some sleep. Because he's a Zerg player, he's a responsible human being, and now he's in the lower right-hand corner of Oceanborn. It is Dark.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player here for the land of the Americas, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax.
And now it's going to be a question of what does Dark do to destabilize MaxPax? Or does he just try to play the full defensive game this time?
Yeah, that's a good question here. And when you say defensive and Dark in the same sentence, like, I have a hard time really melding that together here. It's just against everything in Dark's nature to be more defensive. But we'll see. Already, to take note, the hatchery is back at home. This time it's not across the map. So Dark, he's tempering himself a little bit.
Yeah, keeping all of his buildings on his half of the map, at least for now. You know, you never know. Maybe we'll see a proxy. I don't even know what a Zerg could proxy later on. Proxy Spire.
Yeah.
I love me a good old proxy Spire.
Yeah, it's a rarity, but it happens every now and then, and it's absolute nonsense. But I mean, maybe you're onto something, Dark. If you remember, he wanted to make use of that Spire in game 1. He wasn't able to just because he was too far behind. Maybe that's still on his mind. Maybe that's something that he could try to whip out here on Oceanborn.
It's a tough style to make work. Like Mutas against Protoss, especially since MaxPax does open up with a Stargate every single game. So if he does get wind of a Spire early on, some Phoenixes could come out. Last game we saw the Archons. Those can be so powerful against Mutas. But Dark likes to put himself in those positions. He likes to have, again, he likes to make the game weird. So if he can go in and kill a bunch of probes with a counterattack while he's being attacked too, the game can get to a really strange place where Dark might just have an advantage. His game sense is usually very, very strong. It's one of his superpowers for Dark is his game sense and knowing when the right time to attack is.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely something that we saw in his series against Skillus as well, and we'll see if he can make use of that against MaxPax. For now, Adept's going to be threading a shade towards the unnatural natural of Dark. So far, he keeps his workers alive. We have a couple of links on the way. These are just links to deal with the Adept. We shouldn't be seeing too much aggression from him, and as you mentioned before, once again, MaxPax goes for the Stargate.
Yep. We're just going to see those Adepts harass until the Oracles can get in, and some Lings just sneaking right in. Dark getting something done here. He's going to grab 2 probes, actually, causing some issues, taking advantage of the fact that MaxPax likes to just send his units immediately across the map. Yeah, and the Oracle a little bit late to this party.
Yeah, the Adepts are trying to get some damage done across the map, but Link Speed kicks in. The Adepts are going to be completely shut down, and this is also a lot of lost mine time for MaxPax, not making use of his natural base whatsoever. The Oracle does come out, does clean this up, but now the turns have tabled, and here in the early game, Dark, he does find himself in a bit of a lead, or in a much better position than previously.
That's right, the shoe is on the other foot. And that's going to be important because I think Steadfast has to eat a shoe soon. So the more feet getting that shoe, the better.
Oh my! What happened? Why is he eating the shoe?
I honestly, I'm not sure, but I saw that he lost a bet, a shoe eating bet. And so I believe now he has committed to eating a shoe. I'm just hoping he doesn't no regret on us and not eat the shoe. I think he's better than that.
Yeah, I'd like to think that. I'd like to think that Steadfast. Yeah, he would commit to his promises, and I'm sure he'll eat a shoe for us. If anyone in the chat knows, let us know what happened and what bet it was, and whether maybe he needs to eat more than one shoe. I'm curious. I'm sure it's related to StarCraft. I'm sure it's related to the ESL Masters finals. maybe? Question mark?
Yeah. I saw Fear Dragon mention it. So maybe they were casting something together. And you never make a shoe eating bet.
Yeah.
No matter how sure of a thing you think it is.
Exactly.
Don't do it. Not worth it. Now he's got to figure out how to make a shoe out of something edible.
I mean, maybe he likes it though. Maybe he wanted to eat the shoe.
It's true. He wants to prove that it's not that hard.
Yeah, Jake. As we're getting into this, and we have our tech of choice, it is going to be a Stargate opener into a third base, into a Twilight Council without a forge, and we can see why. MaxPax going into Glaive Adepts.
Yeah, just a good old 4-gate Glaives. The classic, going to try to get some good drone kills here on Dark. Dark does have a Roachhorn and a Lair on the way, so this is pretty standard play of Dark right now. He's just droning up. He's going to need to recognize this fairly soon, though. He needs to get those Roaches out as soon as that Roachhorn pops, because the Adepts are going to be on their way across shortly here.
Yes, we are just banking up the Adepts back at home. Again, the goal here for MaxPax is that he's hoping to catch Dark off guard, to keep these Adepts hidden until the last moment and catch him droning. But as we can see, we already have some safety Roaches on the way. Dark, he hasn't scouted the main base yet. He hasn't seen the Adepts yet, but he's preparing nonetheless. And there we go. The Adepts are now shading across the map. And Dark, does he have enough to deal with this, as he sees a lack of saturation on the base? And he does see those Adepts.
Yeah, he catches wind of a few of them. Now they're going to hit that creep spread, which is pretty far forward in the center here. And Dark's going to start working on these Adepts early with the Queens. He has some of those Roaches out. The Lings are going to have to chase the Shades. But I don't think this Shade is too much of a danger for Dark. So already, these Adepts not being able to get too much done, just clearing up that creep spread.
Yeah, exactly. As Adepts, they're going toe-to-toe with the Queens. One Queen goes down. High energy Queen at that. We're getting damage done. We don't commit to the Shade. We want another Queen, but we do back off. Meanwhile, behind this, we spoke about it. Dark does want to make use of that Spire, does want to get into those mutas as well. He was denied it in game 1. In game 2, he wants it, but he's not there yet. He still has to survive these Adepts.
Yeah, I mean, I think he will be able to get there. There's a chance the Adepts are able to get a scout off on that. Oh, they finished this Shade. Not a ton of Lings here, but the Roaches are going to come up and help clean them out. No drones going down yet. It's just these Adepts trading out for units, which is generally very ideal for the Zerg. As I say that, though, now we're up to 5 drones already.
Yeah,
the Adepts finally getting that damage done.
Yeah, 6 workers go down. We even recall some of the Adepts back home as well to defend against the counterattack to protect this third base. But what's important is that the Adepts, they did shade into the main, but they did not see the Spire. This has not been spotted, not been seen. MaxPax, he's building up towards Blink Stalkers as the standard transition, but he hasn't started Phoenix production because he's unaware of the tech.
Yeah, and Blink Stalkers, while they can do okay against mutas, they're like kind of not great against them. And if Dark's able to get into these mutas, yeah, he starts up +1. I love this. I think this is a great position for him to commit with the mutas against MaxPax. The Glaved opening, and it looks like MaxPax wants to push with his Blink finishing up. So Dark needs to be careful about that, but he's got quite a few Roaches out, and if the Stalker number isn't high enough, the mutas can help in the fight. They can kill a War Prism. They can clean up some of those Stalkers.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. If they can clean up the War Prism, they can get on top of the Sentries as well. But here we go. MaxPax is pushing a little bit prematurely as the Prism is still not with the main army, so he can't reinforce, but he does actually barely see one of those mutas as well. He's pushing on through. Dark, he's in a bit of trouble here, but he's buying some time. He's got more reinforcements on the way.
Ooh, those are beautiful force fields, and there's no Ravagers to take them out, so Dark just going to lose some Roaches for free. He's waiting to engage in on this, just buying as much time as possible to get these units out. The mutas are going to hit first. They won't be hit with this Stasis Ward, which does catch a lot of the Lings on the right-hand side. I don't know if Dark has enough to clean this up. And Dark also wondering what the hell just happened there.
The question mark
the good old... yeah, the question mark GG. Dark wondering how Protoss got their propaganda through that they're weak right now.
True. GG. Well played. Again, a very crisp timing there from MaxPax. The Glaive Adepts, they may not have seen the tech. They may have only killed 6 workers, but it was the setup here for the eventual push from MaxPax. And if Dark hadn't been working towards that Spire and those mutas, he would have had a much stronger Roachling army, and maybe he would have been able to hold on. The mutas in the end, not ideal defensively. You know, when it comes to the strength of the muta, they do an amazing job shutting down prisms or getting harassing damage done, killing workers in a head-to-head fight. Not ideal.
Yeah, especially when they first come out. If you can get up to like 10, 12 mutas, they can be a lot more useful in every regard. But when there's like 6 mutas, 8 mutas, they just kind of, it's a lot of money spent on something not super helpful. And MaxPax being so crisp with that attack, hitting before Blink and +1 were even done, before the Prism was even there, but just putting that pressure on right away and starting to trim off some of those units as they popped out. Beautifully played by MaxPax. He gets the 2-0.
Yeah, GG, well played. A dominant performance here out of MaxPax. Unfortunately, it's only a best of 3. I'm sure we would have loved some more games between these two players, but in the end, MaxPax will take it. He advances on to the grand finals to face off against the winner of the upper semis. And we can head on over to the Korean server because Firefly is currently underway up against Beyond.
Oh, yeah. That's the juice. I mean, Firefly, he's on a hot streak right now, but Beyond did beat Clem. So, you know, good victories on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't want to gloss over that too much because actually it looks like that series may have ended. Rucklets just let us know to go back to the Americas. But yeah, like big shout out to Firefly because I was already praising him for taking down Creator, and Firefly, he pops off in PvP. Like we've seen Firefly take down Hero and Classic and take down some big Protoss players. But for Firefly to 2-0 Gumiho, that's crazy. That's impressive.
It really is. And I know Gumiho has struggled a bit against Protoss lately. But it's still like a 2-0 is a very impressive result against a player of Gumiho's caliber.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's the ESL Masters runner-up. He just joined Cloud9 as well. You know, Gumiho, he's in form. So to be 2-0 is very impressive. And I still want to say that Beyond, obviously, he's the favorite player. You just mentioned he took down Clem. You know, Beyond, he's in form. But Firefly, he's already achieved so much. Like, this is already a very impressive run. And even if he goes down to here, like, he's done very well for himself.